Hey everyone, it's HTF Fanatic 1999, also known as Daily Airings for the old school fans out there. So, the 8th and final episode of Season 1 is All for Ski. We've finally made it to the end of Season 1, and honestly, this was probably my most ambitious episode from that era. As you can tell, it's Christmas-themed, and yes, this episode was made near Christmas Day, which gave it that extra bit of seasonal energy. We kick things off with Cuddles and Kirby front and center. There are a lot of little references sprinkled throughout. I had a lot of fun working on the designs in this episode. Pop makes another appearance, of course. Then you remember this is a crossover, so we get guest appearances from Homer, Peter, and Stewie, as well as a few South Park residents. Yep, crossing the cartoon multiverse once again. And if that wasn't enough, he and Disco Bear kiss in this episode. Yep, I keep teasing that relationship, because why not? Back to the main gist. SpongeBob is about to make like a Happy Tree Friend again. Seriously though, the show probably should be called Happy Tree Friends, SpongeBob Edition featuring Pop. Then there's Mime, just casually building a snowman. This is his last appearance. A lot of the lesser characters of the Happy Tree Friends cast barely appear in this show. Some legit only appear twice, or even once as of the time of this recording. Then R.I.P. Kirby. Again, he gets wiped out pretty fast in this one. Again, this whole running bit with Kirby is messed up, but it's funnier here, IMO. Cuddles also gets taken out right after. No hesitation. Straight to the chaos. One of my favorite moments in this episode is how expressive I made Pop. He's always had a pretty big emotional range, but here, I cranked it up. He's full-on goofy, exaggerated, and borderline theatrical, and I kind of love it. For some reason, Cub barely makes an appearance in this one. I usually love giving each character a moment to shine, but this episode was so packed that a few had to take a back seat. Lumpy and Nutty show up too, and poor Lumpy, actually, poor Lumpy more than anyone. His death scene? Brutal. Absolutely over the top. But that's kind of the point. I think this scene in particular had a massive cringe factor. I dunno, the times a character's stomach was scraped in Happy Tree Friends always made me a bit squeamish. Oh my. Lumpy proves my point. I actually feel bad for him here. And the scream too. Oh my. I think this episode sorta started the trend of SpongeBob killing everyone else in his path in his little adventures. Like after this episode, SpongeBob was more or less retooled into making everything worse or causing destruction everywhere he goes. We also get a surprise cameo from Chef PP, because of course we do. And then, out of nowhere, Tom and Jerry. They also hadn't appeared in a long while. But when they first appeared in this series via this episode, I figured, why not throw them in for the finale? They get into a little mishap, creating the snowball that takes out everyone else. Then there's Kyle's mom. She's also a recurring extra in this show. And yes, she gets hit by a snowball too. No one is safe from this snowball massacre. Disco Bear returns, looking as swagged out as ever. And then, the giant snowball. It takes out Disco Bear mid-ski. Honestly, one of the smoothest deaths in the whole season. That one ski impales his heart. That deserves a chef's kiss. I always loved those sorts of deaths in Happy Tree Friends. And of course, a Disco Bear death isn't complete without that ear-piercing screech. Who doesn't love hearing these characters scream? We return to Pop, the Griffins, South Park, and Homer. Even Elmer Fudd shows up for a second before getting crushed. This whole finale is just one big pileup of cartoon carnage. I strive to put every character I liked at the time into this episode to make it really special. There is a certain someone missing from it, though, and I teased them in the previous episode. But don't worry, they immediately appear in the next episode. SpongeBob, as usual, gets wrecked. Season 1 has been brutal toward him. I don't know what it is. I just enjoyed putting him through all that. There's a moment where the mayor gives SpongeBob a trophy, this fake little moment of peace. I like playing up SpongeBob's cowardly side. I sorta have him as the abused scaredy cat, compared to everyone else who is more brash and reckless, and probably deserves their fates. Here comes that giant snowball again. And then bam! Snowball crushes them both. SpongeBob survives for a second. Then he gets stabbed. Then he gets frozen by a snowball. probably one of my most cartoonishly violent gags. And yes, it's a direct nod to an old Happy Tree Friends Flash game. And that wraps it up. All for Ski was designed to be a big, chaotic, goofy holiday send-off. It felt more like a traditional Happy Tree Friends episode. Less nonsensical than earlier entries, but still packed with over-the-top violence. Nearly every central character got a cameo. I really wanted this finale to feel like a moment. A big crossover holiday special with a dark twist. So yeah, that's all for this episode's commentary. Thanks for watching. I'm genuinely grateful to those who supported my show and stayed tuned no matter what. You're the reason I keep creating. Click that subscribe button if you want more breakdowns and new episodes. I'll see you in Season 2.